Hello everyone. Today we shall start with topic a new chapter, basically polymers. This is chapter 15 of our NCERT book. So let's start with the topic called polymers. So we shall see what are polymers, the classification of polymers, few examples of polymers and the applications. So now let's start. We shall see what are polymers. So polymers means large molecule made when hundred of monomer join together to form long chain. Actually the word polymer comes from Greek words poly, which means many, and mer means part. So many parts unite together to form macromolecule, and these macromolecule are called as polymers. Now polymer is used as synonym for plastics, but all the plastics that comes under this category, they are macromolecule made of many units, but all polymers are not plastics. So all polymers you can't use them as plastics. Now polymers are made of large number of macromolecules. The single unit of a polymeric chain is called monomer. Now the process of formation of polymer from respective monomer is called polymerization. So the process by which the smaller unit combined to give a big molecule is called polymerization. Now example, this is ethene, CH2 double bond CH2. Now n molecules of ethene I have. When you heat it, polymerization means these ethene will combine together to form CH2CH2N. Now these are repeating unit, and it forms a polythene polymer, that is CH2. Here you can see on left side a bond free, on right side, because this CH2CH2 would be repeated many number of times to give polythene polymer. Another example is hexamethylene diamine, that is NH2 CH26 NH2 plus adipic acid, which is COH CH24 COH. They may combine together and eliminate water to form polyamide nylon 66. I hope we have heard about nylons. These are textile materials, polythene which we use in our daily life. So polythenes are macromolecule. The small letter n indicates many unit, more than 100 it should be. So many units are combining together, and the smaller unit. So ethene is a monomer of polythene. Adipic acid and hexamethylene diamine are monomer of nylon 66. So the repeating unit is called monomer, and that the smallest part. Mono means a simple unit, and the process by which monomer combine to give a polymer is called polymerization. So this is about polymers. Now let's see how polymers are classified. So classification of polymers. See, we will have many classification, but according to our level we are discussing right now classification of polymer. So classification can be done based on origin, based on structure, based on molecular force, and based on the mode of polymerization. So based on origin, that is how do we get, from which source are we getting, are they natural, semi-synthetic or synthetic. So these are the classes under origin. Structure, the structure can be linear, branched or cross-linked. What are the intermolecular force, elastomers, fiber, thermoplastic or thermosetting. And which mode of polymerization do they do, addition or condensation. So depending on this, there is a flowchart in short that you can see the classification of polymers. Now let's see in detail. Now polymers can be classified into different types. First, classification based on source. So source means from which place, which origin are we getting. First is natural polymer. Polymer either obtained from plants or animal are natural polymer. They are called plant and animal polymers, like cellulose, jute, lichen, silk, wool, leather. In our body we have RNA, DNA. Then in plants, from bark we get natural rubber. So these all are natural polymers. These are obtained either from plants or animal. These are derived from nature. So these are called natural polymers. Now semi-synthetic polymers are obtained by simple treatment of natural fiber to improve their physical lustrous nature, tensile strength, are called semi-synthetic. Example, rayon acetate. So acetate rayon, cup ammonium silk, viscose rayon, these are artificial rayons in which we are modifying the basic part of normal natural polymer. Synthetic fiber, completely we make it in lab by chemical reaction. The fiber obtained by polymerization of simple molecule in laboratory are synthetic fiber. Example, nylon, terling, polythene, polystyrene, synthetic rubber, then PVC, bakelite, etc. Many. Teflon, non-stick cook pan, you have a coating of Teflon, that is a polytetrafluoroethene. It is a polymer of tetrafluoroethene, which is CF2 double bond CF2. Under high temperature and pressure, you get CF2 single bond CF2 and two bonds are left. That's Teflon. So synthetic rubber, Teflon tape, polystyrene is used for making disposals. So these are the classification based on origin. Next, based on structure. Now based on the internal structure, polymers are classified again into three: linear, branched and cross-linked. Now linear polymers are polymers, the monomers are linked with each other in a linear form and it forms a long straight chain. There are no side chain. For example, polythene, PVC, nylons, polyester, etc. The molecules are closely packed and have high density, tensile strength and melting point. So branches won't be there, they will have only a linear chain. Like if A is a monomer, A will go on. So polythene, nylon 6, PVC curtains, etc. Next is branched polymer. They have straight long chain with different side chains. So this will have branches. Their molecules are irregularly packed, hence they have low density, tensile strength and melting point. Example, polypropene, amylopectin, glycogen, etc. So they have branches. I hope you can see the branches. Certain groups will be present. Along with the linear chain, you have branch group which make it branch polymer. The third is network or cross-link polymer. In these, monomeric units are linked together to constitute a three-dimensional network. The link involved a cross-link. They are hard, rigid and brittle due to the network structure. Bakelite, melamine formaldehyde resin, vulcanized rubber. So these are all cross-links. So it's complicated and network, so many bonds are present that it gives its highly rigid structure and it has very brittle, it is very hard because of the cross-link involved in it. So these are the three type of polymer based on the structure. Now next classification is based on molecular force. Now mechanical property of polymer like tensile strength, toughness, elasticity depends upon intermolecular force like van der Waals force or hydrogen bond. So on the basis of these force, they are classified into four categories. The first is elastomers. Now from the term elastomer, something related to elasticity. So these polymer in which polymer chain are held by weakest attractive force. So weakest force among the four type is in elastomers. They contain randomly coiled molecular chain with few cross links. So you don't have much of the cross link and they are coiled up. These polymer are elastic and are called elastomers. As the strain is applied, polymer gets stretched and as a force is released, polymer regain its original position. For example, Buna S, Buna N, like rubbers that you have, synthetic rubber, natural rubber. So 1,3-butadiene and styrene give Buna S, 1,3-butadiene and acrylonitrile gives Buna N. Neoprene is made from chloroprene. So these are elastomers. These have weakest force and that too is weakest intermolecular force. And these elastomers are used to make rubber, like tires wherever you use, suits and all. Now fiber is the second one. They have high intermolecular attractive force like hydrogen bond. So among the four categories, elastomer, fiber, thermosetting and thermoplastic, the weakest force is in elastomer and the strongest force is in fibers. They have high tensile strength and are used in textile industry. So in fabrics you have textile industry, you have fibers, nylon 6, nylon 6, terling, nylon 6, you can see ropes you make highly tensile, nylon mat, then you have terling, bright carpets. So these are the examples of fibers. They have strong hydrogen bond. You can't have elasticity property in fiber. They already stretch maximum. You don't need to give more of the stretching part. Now the third category is thermoplastic polymer. Thermo means heat. Plastic means they can be molded on heating. So these are polymer having intermolecular force between elastomer and fiber. They are easily molded in desired shape by heating. So when you heat, it will melt. You may give any shape. leave it for some time, let it cool, and it will become hard. So they may be linear or branch chain. They are soft and hot and hard on cooling. Example, polythene, polystyrene, PVC, etc. So polythene, polystyrene, PVC pipe you would have heard. So these are all thermoplastic. So when you heat, it becomes soft. You can give it in any shape, you can mold it, and on cooling it becomes hard. And the force is in between elastomer, that is greater than elastomer but weaker than fiber. The fourth category is thermosetting polymer. These polymer, like on heating, they does not become soft. On heating, they will give a particular hard nature, and they are not able to mold. So this polymer is hard and infusible on heating. These are not soft on heating under pressure, and they are not remolded. You cannot mold them because of the cross link present in it. So such polymers have cross linking in them and are not reused. Example, bakelite, which are used in switchboards, computer desktop screens, the cover of it, bakelite. Then you have melamine resin. So these are the type of polymer based on the force, molecular force. The fourth classification based on polymerization process, like which kind of polymerization is the polymer formed: addition polymer or condensation polymer. So the polymer formed by addition of monomer, like simple monomers are being added, only they are getting added, then it's addition polymer. And when they add by eliminating certain group, then it's condensation polymer. So the polymer formed by addition of monomer repeatedly without removal of byproduct are called addition polymer. These polymer contain all atom of monomer and hence are integral multiple of the monomer unit. For example, Teflon, polythene, polypropylene, PVC, etc. Homo means same. So when the same monomer is repeated n number of times, you get homopolymer, and the monomer is being added. So such are addition polymer. Teflon used in non-stick cookware, polypropylene in pipes, polythene packaging covers. Next is condensation polymer. They are formed by combination of two monomer by removal of small molecule like water, alcohol, ammonia, carbon dioxide, etc. So two different monomer will combine and elimination of certain molecule will take place. They have ester and amide linkage in their molecule. The molecular mass is not integral multiple of the monomer unit because monomer is eliminating certain thing to form the polymer. Example, polyamide, polyester, polyurethanes, etc. So hexamethylene diamine, NH2CH26, NH2 plus COH, CH24 COH. So the NH2H and COH-OH will combine and eliminate water molecule, and you get an amide linkage, that is NHCO bond, which is an amide bond. So it's called polyamide because the amide link is in N times. So this is nylon 6,6. Now polyamide gear wheels, polyester blanket, polyurethane roof sheets, etc. are the applications of that. Now in addition polymer, you have a term homopolymer. Now homo means if the monomer is of same kind, single type, then we call it as homopolymer. Like polythene, it is made only of monomer called ethene. Only a single monomer is polymerizing. Now copolymer is when two or different monomer unit together combine to give a polymer, then it's called copolymer. So you may have two different monomer combining, they are adding, nothing is being eliminated, but two different monomer when they combine, it's called copolymer. When same kind of monomer is combining, it's called homopolymer. So again you can get the difference, homopolymer and copolymer. Now classification based on growth polymers. Like there are two broad type of polymerization: addition or chain growth polymerization and condensation or step growth polymerization. Now we shall see addition polymerization, which is the chain growth. In stepwise the polymer would be formed in addition polymer. Now what it is? In this type of polymerization, the molecule of same monomer or different monomer and together on large scale to combine together to form a polymer. The monomer are unsaturated compound like alkene, alkadienes and their derivative. This mode of polymerization leading to an increase in the chain length or chain growth can take place through formation of either free radical or ionic species. So we shall discuss free radical mechanism for the formation of polymer, that is addition polymer. The polymerization of ethene to polyethene consists of heating or exposing to light a mixture of ethene with small amount of benzoyl peroxide initiator. I hope free radical we have done earlier. So we remember free radical mechanism in which we normally use peroxide, that to benzoyl peroxide, as a initiator. Free radical mechanism has 3 steps: initiation, like first initiation, then chain propagation, and then chain termination. The process starts with the addition of phenyl free radical formed by peroxide to the ethene double bond, thus generating a new and larger free radical. This step is called chain initiation step. So first benzoyl peroxide free radical will form phenyl free radical, which will attack ethene to form a new free radical and then larger free radical. As this radical reacts with another molecule of ethene, another big size radical is formed. The repetition of this sequence with new and bigger radical carries the reaction forward, and the step is termed as chain propagation step. Ultimately, at some stage, the product radical thus formed react with another radical to form polymerized product. So that is chain termination. Let's see in detail. You have this benzoyl peroxide C6H5 C double bond O C double bond O C6H5. So when you give light, O peroxide link will break and you get C6H5COO free radical, which is highly unstable. So C6H5 free radical and CO2 will be eliminated. Now you get phenyl free radical. Now this phenyl free radical attacks ethene to form ethene along with phenyl new free radical. Now you get a new free radical. This is initiator. One molecule of ethene has reacted. So initiation. Now this molecule will react with another ethene molecule, and now you see the chain length has increased. So it goes like this, and n molecules of CH2 would be combining and you get a new free radical chain. So this is a big chain of free radical. Now what would happen? So this is the chain propagation. Now chain will terminate. You have one molecule, one chain like this, another chain of same kind. The two chain will combine together and you get a big molecule called as chain polyethene, which is a chain terminating step. Now some example under addition polymer we can discuss, that is polytetrafluoroethene or Teflon. Teflon is formed from tetrafluoroethene. When you polymerize it, you get polytetrafluoroethene. CF2, and it is used to make non-stick coats in utensils. And CF2 double bond CF2 gives CF2 single bond CF2 n times Teflon. Another example is polyacrylonitrile PAN, polyacrylonitrile, or also called as Orlon or acrylon, and it's obtained from acrylonitrile, which is CH2 double bond CH, also called as vinyl cyanide. In IPAC name it's propteinitrile. So CH2 double bond CHCN, polymerization CH2CHCN n time. This is polyacrylonitrile. It is a substitute for wool. It's an artificial wool. So this is addition polymer. Now we can discuss the next kind of polymer, that is condensation polymer. Condensation, also called as step growth polymer. This type of polymerization involves repetitive condensation reaction between two bifunctional monomers. So the monomer should have bifunctional group, that is two functional group on the other sides of it. These polycondensation reaction may result in loss of some simple molecules such as water, ammonia, alcohol, etc. In these reactions, the product of each step is again a bifunctional species, and sequence of condensation goes on. Each step produces a distinct functionalized species and is independent of each other. So it's called step growth polymerization. For example, terline or Dacron, which is a polyester which is made by ethylene glycol, that is CH2OH plus terephthalic acid, COH, benzene ring, and then COH, and COH are on para position with each other, that is benzene 1,4-dicarboxylic acid. So carboxylic acid OH will combine with alcohol's H, elimination take place, and you get CH2O, C double bond O, and ester linkage. So this is terline or Dacron. Condensation has happened. Now polyamide are example of it. These polymer possess amide linkage and are important example of synthetic fiber and are termed as nylon. So nylon come under polyamide and these are kind of condensation polymer. These are formed by the condensation of diamine with dicarboxylic acid and also of amino acid and their lactam, that is cyclic amide. Preparation of nylon. The first nylon that we'll see is nylon 6,6. Now here the 266 number indicates the number of carbon atom in the two monomer unit. The first unit is adipic acid which has 6 carbon atom and the second unit is hexamethylene diamine which also has 6 carbon atom. So that is why the number 66 is being repeated. So it's a very important question. What does the number 66 signifies? It signifies the number of carbon in the monomer units. So it is prepared by the condensation of polymerization hexamethylene diamine with adipic acid under high pressure and at high temperature. So you have a linkage NHCO which is an amide which is repeating n time. And these nylon 6s are used for making sheets, bristles for brush and in textile industry. Now the second example that we'll see is nylon 6 which is a caprolactam. Caprolactam is a cyclic amide. Cyclic amides are called lactam and here you have 6 carbon atom and 1 NH group, so it's called nylon 6. Only this caprolactam will polymerize. You don't have two different monomer, only a same kind of monomer condenses to form nylon 6. So you have CO, the bond will break from NH and CO, this bond will break and you will get NH, CH2 5, C double bond O, N time. This is used for manufacturing of tire cords, fabric and ropes. So two kind of amide, polyamide you have, nylon 6 and nylon 6,6. Do remember the structure of monomer and polymer with the use. Now is the second kind of condensation polymer, polyester. Polyester, that is ester linkage will be many times and ester are formed by dicarboxylic acid and diol. So these are the polycondensation product of dicarboxylic acid and diol. Dacron terline is the best known example of polyester. It is manufactured by heating a mixture of ethylene glycol and terephthalic acid in presence of zinc acetate, antimony trioxide catalyst. Now we have discussed the reaction and terline is used to increase the resistance and is used in blending with cotton, wool fiber and also a glass reinforcing material in safety helmet, etc. So polyester, Dacron is used. Polyester you would have heard, that is in fabric also, and it is used to make reinforced glass apparatus. And example, you can see the reaction ethylene glycol combining with terephthalic acid to give terline or Dacron. Next is preparation of phenol based polymer, also called formaldehyde polymer, bakelite and related polymer. Phenol formaldehyde polymer are the oldest synthetic polymer. These are obtained by condensation reaction of phenol with formaldehyde in the presence of either an acid or base catalyst. So these are obtained by condensation reaction. How? One is phenol and other is formaldehyde. The reaction starts with initial formation of ortho and para hydroxymethylphenol derivative which further react with phenol to form compound having ring joined together to each other through CH2 group. The initial product could be a linear product called Novolac which is used in paints. So let's see the reaction. Now you have phenol, that is a ring with OH, and CH2O is formaldehyde. When you condense them you get orthohydroxyphenol and orthoparahydroxyphenol or all the ortho and para hydroxyphenol. Now if you take orthohydroxyphenol, it will condense together in a linear chain to form a polymer called as Novolac which is generally used in paints. You may also have the further cross-linking of Novolac to form a strong cross-linked polymer called bakelite. Novolac on heating with formaldehyde undergo cross-linking to form an infusible solid mass called bakelite. So when you take a linear chain Novolac and heat it, you get an infusible solid mass called bakelite which is a cross-linked polymer. You can see many cross-linking taking place. You can see a linear chain, again a linear chain, and this is the branch or the cross-link that are being formed. So many chains are connected together and there are cross-link, a number of bond which connects the chain. So it's called cross-link. It is used for making comb, phonograph records, electrical switches, handle of various utensils, etc. Bakelite. Next is melamine formaldehyde polymer. Melamine formaldehyde polymer is a condensation polymer of melamine and formaldehyde. Melamine is an like amine, and formaldehyde, when they combine, you get an intermediate NHCH2OH. So CH2O and NH2 will combine to give NHCH2OH, which will polymerize together to form melamine polymer, and this melamine polymer is used to make non-breakable crockeries. Now next topic that we can discuss is copolymerization. Now what is copolymer? Copolymer is made of different monomer unit which may undergo addition or condensation. So copolymerization is a polymerization reaction in which mixture of more than one monomeric unit is allowed to polymerize and form a copolymer. The copolymer can be made not only by chain growth but by step growth. That is, it can be addition or condensation. It contains multiple units of each monomer in the same polymeric chain. For example, if you take 1,3-butadiene and styrene, they may copolymerize in the addition form. So nothing is eliminated again, but the monomer are not same, the monomer are different. So it's called a copolymer. It's not homopolymer. Butadiene styrene in short is called as Buna S. It's a kind of synthetic rubber, Buna S. So butadiene, 1,3-butadiene, when you combine with styrene, you get a new polymer which is Buna S. Bu for butadiene, Na because the reaction will take place in presence of sodium, and styrene is S. So Buna S. So it's a copolymer. Now next start with rubber. Natural rubber. Rubber is a natural polymer and it has elastic property. It is also termed as elastomer. It is manufactured from rubber latex, which is a colloidal dispersion of rubber in water. And the monomer of natural rubber is isoprene, which is 2-methyl-1,3-butadiene. And the cis 1,4 polyisoprene is called as natural rubber. Cis, you need to understand, with respect to double bond, the similar group are on the same side, the bulkier group, and the other remaining group are on the other side. So if the same kind of group are on the same side, it says, so natural rubber should have cis configuration, then only it's natural rubber. So cis 1,4 polyisoprene is natural rubber. Vulcanization of rubber. Now natural rubber is very soft at high temperature and brittle at low temperature. So to increase or to enhance the property of natural rubber, we heat it with sulfur to form cross-linked polymer to make it rigid, hard. It is inert to high temperature and other chemical, and this process of heating natural rubber with sulfur to form a cross-linked polymer is called vulcanization, and the rubber that we obtain is called vulcanized rubber. So you can see sulfur is being added in the two chain. The sulfur which is being added act as cross-linked, and this is called vulcanized rubber. Now synthetic rubber. Neoprene. Neoprene or polychloroprene is formed by free radical polymerization of chloroprene. So the monomer of neoprene is chloroprene, which is 2-chloro-1,3-butadiene. So you get neoprene. Next is Buna N. Buna N is a copolymer of 1,3-butadiene and acrylonitrile in presence of peroxide. Buna, butadiene, Na sodium, N for acrylonitrile. So butadiene with acrylonitrile, you get Buna N. It's a copolymer, two different monomer, but nothing is eliminated. So it's an addition polymer. That is, free radical mechanism may happen, chain reaction is taking place, but two different monomer are reacting. So it's a copolymer. Now the last topic that we shall discuss is, now these all polymers so far we have discussed are non-biodegradable, but we also have few biodegradable polymer, and the first example of biodegradable polymer. Biodegradable means which can be degraded by microorganism. An important example is poly-beta hydroxybutyrate co-beta hydroxyvalerate, PHBV. PHBV. It's very, very important. The full form comes, the monomer, the reaction is being asked. It's a biodegradable polymer. So what a biodegradable polymer? The polymer which can be degraded by microorganisms. It is obtained by copolymerization of 3-hydroxybutanoic acid and 3-hydroxypentanoic acid. So you can see this is 3-hydroxybutanoic and 3-hydroxypentanoic. It's bifunctional polymer, monomer. So they will combine together to form a polyester, which is PHBV. This is used in packaging orthopedic devices and control release of drugs. PHBV undergoes bacterial degradation in environment. So the biopolymers or the biodegradable polymer which undergoes bacterial degradation by the environment are called biodegradable polymer. Another example is nylon 2, nylon 6. Now some other important class of polymers, polypropylene, polystyrene, and the uses are given, the structures are given of the polymer, and the monomer units are written. So do learn. These are very important and simple chapter. We have discussed so far in this unit what a polymer, the process by which polymer are formed is polymerization, classification of polymers on the base of different base you have divided into it, examples you need to learn, the applications. So do learn the topic. It's very simple and important chapter. So this chapter is complete. If any doubt, do ask.